An investigation is underway near Mallett's Bay after a man was shot in the chest. Thanks for joining us at 10 o'clock. I'm Amanda Martin-Ryan.
Officer says as bad as the situation was, it's a miracle that everyone is alive.
During the meeting this morning, one of the organizers said that only 2% of business owners in Montpelier have flood insurance.
A microburst that swept through and caused numerous trees like this one to come down. It's still coming down pretty hard. And I actually want to show you up close what the snow is looking like. Super powdery, not sticky enough to make a snowball. And as Matt said, it's wiping off pretty easily. And actually, I want to take you over to the road so you can see how road conditions in South Burlington are doing.
Breaking at 10, a manhunt taking Vermont State Police through the woods in the Northeast Kingdom for hours, ending with multiple armed suspects in handcuffs.
Crime scene tape is still blocking off this entrance to the rail trail, and as you can see, it's just yards away from a campus entrance. Just above me, this red and white reflective 2x4 is the final warning sign for drivers, so they know the risk of trying to pass through well before the damage is done. This is a kitchen and bath showroom, and right next to it, right here, is where one of the two vehicles was hit by the BB gun pellets. I feel like we have to repeat the interesting Jack fact that I learned at 6 o'clock.
I am an ordained minister.
Yes.
This pull-off where I'm at is supposed to be considered scenic, but it's hard to take in the nature with all of the trash that I'm surrounded by.
Now, I hope you had a chance to go outside and enjoy beautiful weather.
I did. Actually went to Shelburne Farms today and walked around. I don't know if you've been there.
I have.
A lot of
It's
open space. It's beautiful, right?
Awesome. I'm kind of jealous of you now.
Now at 11, it's a wrap for the 57th Annual Maple Fest. The big crowd's drawn to St. Albans today, with rain holding off just in time for the parade.
And we're tracking a drier day for tomorrow, but then showers return on Tuesday. We'll let you know the latest timing on those coming up.
NBC 5 News at 11 starts now.
Tonight, 2 colleges in Vermont, now some of the latest universities to join encampments across the world as students call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Amanda Martin-Ryan. The 2 colleges, the University of Vermont and Middlebury College, both more than 10 tents now pitched on campus. On UVM's campus, around a dozen tents are set up between the library and the Davis Center. During the setup, music was being played and dinner was handed out to everyone there. One student spoke with NBC5, and he wishes to remain anonymous, but says the community is calling for a ceasefire and for UVM to divest from any financial investments that support what he calls the occupation of Palestine.
We're responding to a genocide, but in the middle of all that is this very beautiful community of people who are struggling from a place of love and hope and care and compassion for humanity. And I think that will be apparent to anyone who comes into the encampment and has a conversation with us.
UVM police also on scene, telling NBC5 that they're here to make sure everyone stays safe on campus. The students say they'll be sleeping there until their demands are met. Meantime, Middlebury College telling us that there are currently 30 tents on their campus right now, and what the university is calling a peaceful demonstration related to the war in Gaza and Israel. In a statement, Middlebury College saying, quote, "Our primary goal is to support free expression and peaceful protest in a way that keeps our community safe, and we continue to monitor the situation." The college adding that right now, the students are peaceful and complying with protest policies. New tonight at 11, police in Malone, New York, telling NBC5 that their department was informed of a threat made to the town's middle school. According to Malone PD, they were made aware of the apparent threat on Friday and in turn informed state police. Authorities did a thorough investigation but found there was no credibility to the threat. Police do say, however, parents can expect an increased law enforcement presence around the building this week. Turning to the weather now, let's get a check of what we can expect for the beginning of this week. Let's hand it over to NBC5's first warning meteorologist, Matthew Loretto, who's in the Weather Center for us. And Matt, can we consider this the last of the April showers, or does Mother Nature have another round of rain in store for us? Matt, thanks. A 4-unit apartment building in Morrisville was set ablaze this morning when it was struck by lightning. The call came into the Morrisville Fire Department at around 7, with all Lamoille County fire departments responding. Sterling Valley Road in Morrisville and Stowe was closed for most of the day due to the severity of the fire. All of the building's residents have been displaced and are reportedly being helped by the Red Cross. Meanwhile, Colchester police are investigating a reported shooting that happened early this morning. It happened at around 12:30 in the area of Sharrow Circle. Ballistic evidence from the scene did confirm that a firearm had been discharged. No victims or suspects have been identified at this time. Police say this looks to be an isolated incident, and they ask you to give them a call at the number on your screen if you know anything about the incident.
It's been definitely really scary. Lock all your windows and doors.
Sophia Franco lives less than 20 yards from the homeless encampment on Buell Street.
We have had a break-in in here in my apartment. Someone crawled through the window and just stole a few things.
That happened this past summer, but for her next-door neighbors, a group of UVM juniors, it happened last week. Without their security camera, they would have had no idea.
This woman opened our front door, tried to open it, but it was locked, and that's pretty scary.
And Monday morning, 2 UVM seniors living between the encampment and halfway house on Buell woke up to 2 homeless men sleeping on their porch.
The guy was like, "Oh, sorry, it was raining. We just wanted to sleep here." I was like, "You still can't do that." And just shoot them off. And then they walked down to their little tent village down there.
Beyond the break-ins and trespassing, trash and needles line the street. Parking spots along the encampment are empty, and in the encampment itself.
There's so many bikes that are definitely stolen. We actually, the other night when we were walking home from work, it was 3 a.m., we saw some guy going through everybody's porch up there.
Despite it all, the people who live there say they sympathize with the situation of the unhoused, but say the encampment is a liability of the city and state.
People are miserable and are hurting, and during the winter, it's hard and people can die and overdose and just die on the street.
That danger and that fear, really, I think there are solutions to that, and solutions would be giving these people a place and the stability and safety.
NBC5 reached out to the city to find out which department is responsible for overseeing the encampment. While it's been growing for weeks, city officials say they weren't, quote, notified about it until Monday. The city says its public works department went there and issued a violation for impeding the right-of-way. If you're driving through the Essex, Vermont neighborhood the Quinton family lives in, you've got to keep your eyes peeled for bikers, pedestrians, and as of recently, Lola.
I think it's probably my most commented post ever, that she should go nationwide, she should go viral, Lola should be known as the scootering dog.
12-year-old Kate taught the 2-year-old Australian Labradoodle the skill about a year ago.
My friend and I were hanging out, and we told my parents, we're gonna teach Lola how to scooter. And they were like, yeah, sure, yeah, go ahead, try. And 30 minutes later, I came back and I was like, yep, I got it done, she scootered.
Since then, Lola's been going for rides a couple times each week. She's able to push off the ground with her own paws, and over this summer, Lola learned to go down the hill in her neighborhood on her own.
It took a couple of weeks to get used to it and start actually pedaling.
As extraordinary as scootering makes her, Lola's adoption into the family is special in its own way. 6 months before getting Lola, the Quintons lost their 2-year-old pup who was paralyzed. Both dogs are from the same breeder in New Hampshire.
When we could reflect after Millie died, we realized maybe she just wasn't healthy in the first place. So we absolutely are just over the moon with Lola.
And for Kate in particular, their bond is even more special.
If Lola gets out of the house and she's playing and being naughty, Kate can go outside and she can get her immediately. Nobody else can, but Kate can. She listens to Kate. Kate is her person.
The Quintons still keep in touch with their breeder, who was just as amazed to see Lola scootering when she saw the videos.
I don't know how Katie has trained her to do that. I can see the dogs are very smart, they're trainable, and they're very easy to please too. So with her being her best buddy, I can see how maybe it didn't take very long for her to follow along.
And besides just scootering, Lola is also fond of piggyback rides. The Quintons say they couldn't be more grateful to have a dog as talented and loving as Lola.
She's like a human dog version of me. She makes me feel better when I'm sad, and she's very lovable.
In Essex, Amanda Martin Ryan, NBC 5 News.